Shalom, shalom. Before I get started, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to YAHAWAHSHI, YAHAWAHSHI, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash, and double honors to the apostles and elders that have learned this truth from the men at GMS, and the brethren with the like-minded doctrine. Mr. Brother Bakala Wallam, here with another hopeful, edifying lesson to the elect body of YAHAWAHSHI, YAHAWAHSHI. What this lesson is going to be entitled is the spirit of Babylon is failing. Right, the spirit of Babylon is failing the Constitution, your rights, basically, right? And that's what, like this article says here, what's at stake, and that's basically what's at stake, that the spirit is failing, which, Yahawah is destroying Babylon the Great and all the idols of it, out of the midst of it. He's destroying this place, in every aspect that you can think of, right? This place is falling. Quoting the words on Babylon has fallen. That's mean it's political system, financial system, military aspect, you know, everything about this place is falling. Even to these people in Babylon, their rights, which that's what's, like this title says, what's at stake. That's what's at stake in Babylon, right? Which that's coming from Isaiah, the 19th chapter, right? Which, I'm gonna bring that out. So I'm gonna read this article, right? It says the press from ACLU, which it says this ACLU says the ACLU works in courts legislation. It says the freedom of press. Basically, yes, Salakia. This lesson is gonna center around basically the freedom of press, which is in your First Amendment, which is in the Constitution of the First Amendment, right? Freedom of speech, freedom of press, which deals with the media making posts, stating opinions, which you have a right to post. Freedom of press, creating a post of facts or opinions, that you have a right to do that according to the First Amendment of the Constitution, right? It says the ACLU works in courts, legislatures, and communities to defend and preserve the individual rights and liberties that the Constitution and the laws of the United States guaranteed everyone in this country. So that's what this ACLU, they help to protect, work with the courts to preserve people's rights, basically, right? Now, one of those rights is the freedom of press, which, posting on media platforms, right? Facts or opinions. So it said, what's at stake? So the press was to observe the governed, not the governors. The press was to serve the governed, not the governors, right? U.S. Supreme Court Justice Hugo Black in New York Times Company versus United States, 1971, which is a Supreme Court case, right? Says the freedom of press protected by the First Amendment is critical to a democracy in which the government is accountable to the people. A free media functions as a watchdog that can investigate and report on government wrongdoings, right? So free media is a function as a watchdog that can investigate and report on government wrongdoing. So that's why the people has the right to freedom of press, post things on media to keep the eye on these government officials, make sure they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. Um, case in point is um with this thing, which is a sensitive subject, right? This this C thing, right? Which I know without a doubt they're gonna bring it back, right? These mandatory things, everything that happened in um 2020, with all the lockdowns and mandates, all these things are coming back, which is a sensitive subject. And also, what's going to be sensitive is that anti-SIM card issue, right? Anti-SIM is going to get more sensitive, and also speaking on the MOTB, right? Which is the microchip, CHIP. All three of those is going to be very sensitive, right? That you can't say anything basically, and effect in the effect of adverse um, opposing the government's view on it, right? It's going to be very sensitive. It says the freedom of speech, so like the freedom of press, protected by the First Amendment, is critical to a democracy in which the government is accountable to the people. It's critical to a democracy in which the government is accountable to the people. A free media functions as a watchdog that can investigate and report on government wrongdoings. It is also a vibrant marketplace of ideals, a vehicle for ordinary citizens to express themselves and gain exposure to a wide range of information and opinions. So that's what these media platforms is for. So basically to keep the eye on the government, and let the people know, if there's anything going on, they should be aware of it, right? So basically that's what they do when people post about these mandates and what's the effect of it and this, that, and the third, right? These whistleblowers, um, other professions like doctors with PhDs, these other doctors and professionals stating their factuality on the case, right? They have the right to do that, freedom of press. It says the rise of national security states, the rise of the national security state and the proliferation of a new surveillance technology has created new challenges to media freedom, right? The government has launched an unprecedented crackdown on whistleblowers, targeting journalists in order to find their sources. Whistleblowers face persecution on the World War I era Espionage Act for the leak of the press in the public interest. And in the face of a growing surveillance apparatus, journalists must go to new lengths to protect sources and, by extension, the public's right to know. See, you gotta go to new lengths, and they got this surveillance, which is the police state, which is all ties into the NWO, right? This police state monitoring everything. They're monitoring people's activity, even your body functions, your way of thinking. Everything is going to be controlled, total control, like inside of the guy on Aaron Russo, who said that's what the end goal of the elite. When he was talking to David Rockefeller, right? The end goal is total control to get everybody CHIP. You know, they can control. That's why everything is going to go digital. right? Your monetary system, digital. They want to digitize humans, which is merging man with machine, transhumanism. All that is part of the NWO. The Great Reset, the what is it? The World Health Organization, and what is this organization? This is not coming to mind. Though this guy Klaus Schwab, him and his the organization that he's ahead of, right? So that's all in the police state, the surveillance, right? It says the ACLU has played a central role in defending the freedom of press for our role in a landmark Pentagon paper case to our defense of the whistleblower Edward Snowden and our advocacy for a new media shield law. When press freedom is harmed, it is much harder to hold our government accountable when it missteps or overreach, which they even talking about the overreaching and what's going on in New York with the reinstatement of the quarantine lockdown policy. It said that's can basically be an abuse of power, right? And if no one would know that if you didn't have the right to freedom of press, right? Just tell the people that what's going on with your government. So the people would not know if they didn't have you didn't have that right to freedom of press, right? So this is a sensitive issue because more or less they're gonna try to take down which is gonna bring into family word. They're gonna try to take down media platforms for whatever case for misinformation, disinformation, people speaking out against the government, which is sedition, you know, and all this is gonna tie in, to criminalize, um, blame people, try to say they're insurrectionists or enemies of the state, terrorists, and what that is all part of the plans of the elite, right? So that's what it is, a freedom of press, which is protected by the First Amendment right. Your First Amendment, which is felon in Babylon, right? That's why you have issues with these what they call these guidelines that if you violate these guidelines, uh your freedom of press would be in jeopardy. You're supposed to get taken down, which is a violation of the Constitution, which is the supreme law of the land. Which going to this word supersedes, right? Because that's what the Constitution is the supreme law of the land, right? In Babylon, America, and nothing can supersede supposedly this law, right? So this word supersede, right? It says to take the place of a person or thing previously in authority or use, supplant, right? So you don't suppose you can't take the place of anything that's stated in the Constitution. That's supreme, right? So that's why they're passing these laws and legislations and these guidelines, you know, it supersedes the Constitution. You have a right to freedom of press, post on media, your opinions or facts, to watch the government, basically watchdogs of the government, but they superseded with these guidelines that they passed, which is a violation, right? Let me just get this up real quick. Supersede the Constitution. Let's see if this is what I want. Yeah, the supremacy clause, right? Well, I'm not trying to go too deep in this, but that's what it is. This is a supremacy clause. The Constitution is the supreme. Article 6, paragraph 2 of the United States Constitution is commonly referred to as the supremacy clause to establish that the federal constitution, federal law generally takes precedence over state laws and even state constitution. So, state laws that, that's what you can't supersede. Is why supreme law of the land, supremacy clause, right? So that's what that is. You can't supersede the Constitution. You can't make up any legislation to override your constitutional rights, which you see that is felon in Babylon, right? Uh, See, that's felon in Babylon, and that's go to Isaiah, um, go to Isaiah the 19th chapter, Isaiah chapter 19:1, right? It says the burden of Egypt, behold, Egypt is America, right? The burden of Egypt, behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst thereof. Right? And I will set Egyptian against Egyptian, and they shall fight every one against his brother, and every one against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. You see that, right? With these blue and red states, right? These different militia groups, all that is ties into that, right? Egyptian against Egyptian, right? And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof. So that's what it is. The spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, right? Their council, one of their councils is this constitution, which it was created by what they call the founding fathers, right? Or the Edomites, the so-called white man, which is their forefathers, right? They call the founding fathers. Their council is destroyed, right? Destroying the council thereof. I will destroy the council thereof, and they shall seek to idols and to charmers and to them that have familiar spirits and to wizards, you know. So it says on verse 3 again, it says, the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, right? So if you look at this right here, it says this, Google the spirit of America, meaning, right? It says America's spirit is defense of freedom in many areas, in speech, in choice of religion, in politics, and in businesses. So the spirit of America is to defense of freedom, right? Your constitutional rights, your freedoms, which are in the Constitution, right? So it's on the spirit of America. It's defense of freedom in many areas, in speech, which the First Amendment, freedom of press, that ties together freedom of press, the freedom of speech, and choice of religion, in speech, and choice of religion, in politics, and in business, has made it a beacon for the people around the world. This was so in the 1700s and the 1800s and the 1900s, and it remains so today, right? The American spirit. What does it mean? I did a lesson on this some time back, right? Well, that spirit of America is what? Defending freedom, right? Supposedly, that's what they say. Their spirit, which ties into the Constitution, right? The host said the spirit of America. Right. So I might put this as my whatever it's called on the for this video. Right. So this spirit of America is fallen, which is the Constitution, the right, the so-called rights of America. Is felon, right? Isaiah 19. The council is felon. It's one of the councils that America is based upon. It's the Constitution, right? Let me see. I got which there's another article because we read that out of that the first article from ACLU about right to press what these what they trying to take people right to freedom of press in the media. They trying to basically censor it, right? They trying to censor that. So this article says from SAN.com, it says government likely violated First Amendment with, I'm not gonna say it. I'm just, you see the word there because, just like I said, it's a sensitive it's sensitive, man. So because I had put a video, I made a video. The video didn't even have a sound. I didn't read the video. All I did was like this article here. It was an article, and I just basically strolled down the article, and they took the video down, right? Which is a violation of freedom of press, right? You have the right to do that according to the Constitution, and it's the supreme law of the land, the supremacy clause, right? So so I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna say particular words. So it says the government likely violated First Amendment with this, right? Social media censorship, courts say so, right? A federal appeals court has ruled the Biden administration, along with government agencies like the CDC and FBI, likely violated the First Amendment when they pushed to censor and moderate posts about this, right, on social media during the pandemic. While it's only being disputed, while it's not Salakia, while it's not being disputed that social media posts about this, right, were being censored, limited, and slapped with disclaimers. The question centers on if the White House had legal authority to pressure social media companies to place limits on their posts. The Fifth Circuit Court of Appeal judge unanimously ruled on Friday, September 8th, those government agencies did not have the right to do so. The ruling narrowed the scope of an order from a Louisiana judge in July, that had blocked many federal agencies from contacting social media companies about moderation. The three-judge panel ruled the White House and Surgeon General, the CDC, and FBI all likely coerced the platform to make their moderation decisions by way of intimidating messages and threats of adverse consequences, or significantly encourage the platform decisions by commandeering their decision-making process, both in violation of the First Amendment. The government officials claim they had the responsibility to limit what they call disinformation from spreading online during a health emergency. But the plaintiffs who first filed suit argued the efforts violated Americans' rights, right, to free speech. The lawsuit was filed by Republican Attorney General in Missouri and Louisiana, a conservative website owner, and four private individuals who were against the Biden administration policy, right? Which is brings me to a scripture. What is this? Daniel the 8th chapter, right? Daniel chapter 8 and 25. It says, and through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand. Right? So that's how that's how they cause things to prosper. Their craft, their witchcraft, their sorcery, right? Their deception, right? Their deceit, their wickedness, that's how they cause it to prosper, right? Daniel 8 and 25, and through his policy, these policies, these legislations, these guidelines, right? And through his policy, he shall also, Salakia, through his policy also, he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand. And so that's what it is, man. That's his legislation, these guidelines. He's going to cause craft to prosper so he can fulfill, the elites. For that case, they were trying to fulfill this new world order, right? Because they know they have but a short time. So they're trying to move things about fast, speedily. And the Lord is doing it ultimately, right? He's doing it. And this violation of these people's rights is felon, right? Their spirit, the spirit of Egypt, spirit of Babylon, right, is felon, which is these constitutional rights, because he's causing craft to prosper in his hand through his policy, right? He's superseding your supposed rights in violation because he's trying to fulfill his new world order, which I'm gonna go to another precept. This is on book of Isaiah 10. Isaiah 10 and 1, it says, woe to them that decree unrighteous decrees, right? And that write grievousness which they have prescribed, right? They write up they prescribe they meaning they come up, they conjure, they write up these unrighteous decrees, these policies, right? Which woe is destruction, misery. That's what's coming to Babylon the Great, these elite, Esau, Edom, the nation of Edom. That's what's coming, right? It says, woe to them that decree unrighteous decrees and write grievousness which they have prescribed to to turn aside the needy from judgment and to take away the right from the poor of my people. See, take away your rights. Take away the right from the poor of my people, right? That widow may be their prey, that widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless, right? Right? Verse 3, and what will ye do? So, Salakia, verse 2, well, they take away the right from the poor of my people, right? He's taking away your rights, right? So that's what he's doing. He's taking away your rights. Through what? Unrighteous decrees. you know, these policies. So his craft can prosper in his hand, which he's trying to bring about the NWO. Right? It says, verse 3, and what will ye do in the day of visitation, and in the desolation which shall come from far? To whom will you flee for help, and where will you leave your glory? So that's what's coming to this place. Destruction coming from afar. Talking about those ICBM nuclear missiles and the Lord, YAHAWAHSHI, when he's come back, right? His desolation is coming from far, right? Right. Let's see. Slovakia. So yeah, right. So I'm gonna go to another precept. Isaiah, in the book of Isaiah, still chapter 6, 2, right? Because the people of Babylon, they are in darkness, man. Because that's what this place is, right? Do I want to go ahead? Let me see. Yeah, well, I could use this because the people in America, even I meant to make a video on it. Their president, Jimmy Carter, right? He had a video that he said about the situation with the Palestinians and Israelis over there. He said, like, basically Americans, they don't care to know what's going over there because they in darkness. This land over here is in dark. This is the land of darkness, right? Job, the book of Job tell you that. I think it's Job 10th chapter, if I'm not mistaken. It's in the book of Job, nonetheless, that, yeah, I think I'm going to get that. Job 10, that is the land of darkness, right? Because, these people, which is the word I bring out a lot, which is this word is called oblivious, meaning that people don't know, or meaning you don't know or you don't care to know. You look up that word oblivious, and that's how the people act in Babylon, especially these Edomites, when it comes to the truth about how this government is really governing themselves, the corruption, the genocide, the murderous tactics, the lies, the fraud, you know, the hypocrisy. They can they can care. They some don't know, which is basically you two you so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans. You don't know what's going on. But these Edomites, they can care not. They don't care to know. Because basically it's revealing their wickedness, so they don't care to know. They want to push it aside and focus on you. For what you're doing. They looking for a scapegoat, right? They're looking for someone to take the attention off them and them be the centerpiece of attention. Especially when it comes to wickedness and criminality. They're looking for somebody else uh that role when they're the wicked of the earth. So-called white man, Esau, Edom. They are the wicked. Malachi 1 and verse 3 tells you, or verse 4, Salakia tells you that Esau is the wicked. Esau is the border of wickedness, which you so-called white people. It says, it's going back to the subject of darkness, right? Or which is ties into that word oblivious. It says Isaiah 62 says, "For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people." So that's why these people are oblivious. They are in total darkness. They don't know what's going on. But the Lord Yahweh shall rise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee. That's the nation of Israel, the elect of the nation of Israel. We see what's going on through YAHAWAHSHI, his light, his glory, shining upon us by his word, right? So we see what's going on. We are no longer in darkness, right? So I want to see what Psalms, the book of Psalms, '82 and 4, right? Psalms 82 and 4 says, deliver the poor and needy, rid them out of the hand of the wicked, right? They know not, neither neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness. All the foundations of the earth are out of course, right? Why? Because the wicked, Esau Edom, is bear fruit. He turned everything upside down. That's why everything is out. That's why the earth is out of course, because he got everything upside down, right? I'm gonna read it out the New Living Translation, right? Psalms 82:4 says, "Rescue the poor." Which he said they prescribe unrighteous decrees to take the right away from the needy of my people, right? And that's his policy, his legislation. Rescue the poor and the helpless, deliver them from the grasp of evil people. But these oppressors know nothing, right? They know nothing here in Babylon, right? They oblivious. These oppressors know nothing. They are ignorant. They wander about in darkness while the whole world is shaken to the core. So that's what's happened. That's why that's why the whole world is in the condition that it's in. Because the wicked, Job 9:24 tells you the earth was given into the hands of the wicked, which is the so-called white man, Esau, Edom. And that's why the earth is out of course, right? Because the wicked bear rule. That's why the people are mourning, because the wicked bear rule. So verse 5, I'm going to read verse 5 one time, right? It says, but these oppressors know nothing. They are so ignorant. They wander about in darkness while the whole world is shaken to the core, right? The whole world is out of course. They promoting Skittle taste the rainbow lifestyle. They promote wickedness. They promote oppression. They promote iniquity. That's why the so-called white man, he's the wicked. He promotes iniquity. Perverseness. That's what they promote. That's why the whole earth is out of course. They run the whole world, right? Job 10, the book of Job, chapter 10. The book of Job 10. It's 20, right? Talking about this place Babylon. Job, prophesying, seeing himself in America, which is reincarnation, right? He's prophesying, seeing himself in this land, particular land, right? It says Job 10 and 10:20, it says, are not my days few? Cease then and let me alone, that I may take comfort a little. But before I go whence, I shall not return, even to the land of darkness. and the shadow of death, the land of darkness as darkness itself, and of the shadow of death without any order, and where the light is as darkness. So that's talking about America, Babylon. You know, that's why this place is fallen. You know, Babylon is fallen. The spirit of Babylon is fallen. You know, you could tie that into the Constitution. You know, you don't have a right to freedom of press, freedom of religion. You don't have any of these rights, so-called rights that they claim that you have, which is supposed to be the supreme law of the land. You know, the land of darkness, as it says, the light is as darkness. See, this Constitution is supposed to be the light that the people go by, but you in darkness by it. You know, especially you so-called Blacks, Latino, Native Americans, because the Constitution wasn't even created for your freedoms anyway. That's an illusion. You know, the light is as darkness. You know, these laws is darkness. You know, because the white man, the so-called white man, he talks with a double heart, right? Psalms 20. It's like in Psalms 12 and 1. It says, "Help, Yahawah, for the godly men cease, for the for the faithful for the faithful fail from among the children of men. They speak vanity, everyone with his neighbor, with flattering lips, and with a double heart do they speak." Right? They speak with a forked tongue. They speak with a double heart. They say one thing, but they mean another. Verse 3 says, "The Lord Yahawah shall cut off all flattering lips, and a tongue that speaketh proud things, who have said with our tongue we will prevail." Right? These legislations, these laws, right? We pass these righteous decrees, these policies, right? Who have said with our tongue we will prevail. Our lips are our own. Who is Lord over us? So that's how these Edomites feel, man. Our lips are our own. We prescribe these unrighteous decrees, right? Isaiah the 10th chapter, who prescribes unrighteous decrees. Daniel's the 8th chapter, 25th verse, right? These causing craft to prosper in his hand through these policies, right? Verse 4, I'm gonna read it again. It says, "Who have said with our tongue, we will prevail. Our lips are our own. Who is Lord over us?" Right? So that's how they feel. Who's Lord over us, man? Our lips are our own. We make up what we want to say. You know, we come up with these policies, these decisions, and we bring it forth. We prescribe it. Verse 5: "For the oppression, for the oppression of the poor, for the sighing of the needy, now will I arise, saith the Lord Yahawah. I will set him in safety. I will set him in safety from him that puffeth at him," right? So I will set him in safety from him that puffeth at him. These Edomites, man, they puffeth at their enemies, man. They puffeth at all their enemies, man. I'm gonna jump down to verse 8, right? "The wicked walk on every side when the vilest men are exalted," right? Who is the wicked? You saw Edom, and also every other heathen, you know, every other wicked man uh, is about to is around is exalted. It says, don't read that again. The wicked walk on every side when the vilest men are exalted, right? So wicked men are, that's why they got these puppet leaders in these different countries, you know, because Esau Edom creates these puppet leaders. You know, he set up these coups that overtake these other countries, governments, so he can establish his wickedness. And who is that vilest man? Who is that vile man? Esau Edom, Job 30. So like I said, yeah, so like these Edomites, the so-called white men, they set up these puppet leaders, like for instance, anywhere, the Central and South America, the Middle East, they set up these puppet leaders because their government, the CIA, they come in there and, you know, and infiltrate, set up coups, set up division. So they put who they want in these seats so they can, so their policy, their craft can prosper throughout the whole earth, you know, because like the Job 9:24, the earth was given into the hands of the wicked, which is the so-called white man. So that's what they do. That's what they do, right? Job 9:30. That's why it says the wicked men walk up. Let's go back there, Psalms 12:8. It says the wicked walk on every side when the vilest men are exalted, right? So that's why all these wicked men is everywhere, you know, because the vilest men, which is the so-called white man, Esau, Edom, are exalted. We're gonna show you that. I'm gonna show you that. So we're gonna show you that in Job 30. Job 30 and what? Verse 8, right? Let's start verse 3, right? Because from verse 1, it's all talking about the Edomites, right? The cavemen, the cave dwellers, the Caucasian. That's what Caucasian means, cave dwellers, right? Job 30:3, it says, for want and famine, they were solitary, fleeing in the wilderness, in former time, desolate and waste. They cut up mallows by the bushes, and juniper roots were their meat. They were driven forth from among men. They cry after them as after a thief, to dwell in the cliffs of the valley, in the caves of the earth, and in the rocks, the cave dwellers, Caucasians, the so-called white man. Among the bushes they bray, on the nettles they were gathered together. They were the children of fools, yea, children of base men. They were viler than the earth. So the vilest men, well, these cave dwellers, Esau, Edom, they are exalted. So every other wicked man in the earth is exalted along with them. They everywhere on every side, meaning they're all over, you know, on every side, right? These wicked men are on every side, you know, throughout the earth. Because Esau, you know, wicked, he rules the earth through, you know, through the sword first and foremost, you know. Then he bribes you, deceit, lies to you, deceive you, and bribe people. You know, that's what he do. Bribe you, lie to you, and deceive you. That's what the so-called white man Esau Edom does, right? So, you know, I was going off a little bit, but I wanted to make that point also, right? That's why these people are in darkness, because of the wicked bear rule, right? And they don't care to know, you know, oblivious. So that's why Egypt, Babylon, the spirit is failing. And Babylon is falling, right? So I'm gonna go and end it off there. I hope it was edifying to the elect. And I'm gonna say, call Halayim La Yahawah, Ba'ashem Yahawashi, Ba'ashem Rakakadash, Shalom till the next time, Yahweh, Rathazah, which means Lord willing, and Wah Abba Babal DTA soon.